All right, we're doing section C, expository essays. This is everything you need to know, or at least these are the very basic parts to get you started. So the key ingredients, you're going to need linguist quotes, you're going to need contemporary examples, of course, and you'll need to be surrounding those with metalanguage and also theories. So I think theories probably isn't what we talk about enough, but obviously you've studied English language for at least 2 years, maybe more. And what you need to be doing is bringing in the theories that have been discussed. So you might want to say descriptivism, might want to talk about child language acquisition. Those kind of things can be thrown in where relevant, of course, as a way to show off that you're not just regurgitating the content, but you're actually applying and using these things in the real world. So there's only 2 types of questions, which is important and useful to know. There's the expository, which is just discuss, and there's the opinionative, which is a word I've never said out loud before, or even knew existed until right now. So an opinion one is, agree, disagree, but as you'll see, each is different. So expository, intended to explain or describe something, you're aiming to be balanced, and you're being a descriptivist, so you don't want to be judgy or saying that one's right or one's wrong, but you just want to outline different perspectives. And it's always good to think about dominant group, non-dominant group. So think overt, covert, think formal, informal, think standard, non-standard. Kind of keep those 2 groups in mind, because if you're just doing one side, you're kind of neglecting one element of the question, which is not good. So opinionative, often related to opinion. Doctrinal, opinionated. Obviously you don't want to be too opinionated, because again, you want to keep all your options open and you want to be talking about both sides of the coin, all things that are possible and ways that you can do it. So you're putting forward an opinion, like it says here, but you probably want to agree and disagree. So like you might kind of save your introduction and your conclusion till last and sort of just write 3 paragraphs and then come back and say, okay, so on balance, am I mostly agreeing or disagreeing? Because again, you'll be wanting to do both sides as much as possible to keep it interesting. All right, so this is, I think, really useful. You want to think about your parachute paragraphs. So obviously, I'll take you through in a separate video the idea of all the different big ideas, big topics, big themes that you could explore in your writing. But what you need to do is think of your parachute paragraphs. These are things that you just know really well, that you have prepared, that you think you can make fit to most things. So depending on who you are and your identity and who you feel most connected to, as a general rule, you'll be thinking about teen speak. You're a teenager, so that's kind of your area. If you don't have a really strongly developed teen speak paragraph, then you'll need to really do that first and keep that in the back of your mind. It's relatively flexible and you can fit it in all sorts of different topics. And LGBTQI plus type of stuff might be something that you're across, something that you are, especially because it's a common issue that's talked about in the news. It's everywhere. It's all over the schools, in posters and etc. But for you, it might be something different. So if you're from a particular ethnolect background, that might be your parachute paragraph, but basically you want 1, 2, maybe even 3 that you just know you can probably make fit somewhere. So for you, it might just be an easy one, like a subject, an area of study that you're really connected to, formal language, standard, non-standard, jargon maybe. You might have a jargon paragraph that you've really got at the back of your mind, like, I'm a big video gamer, so I've got my video game jargon. And that's what I'm going to bring out in case of emergency. This is the break glass in case of emergency parachute paragraph that you really want to have ready.